Welcome to my channel, Nigerian Trending Now. There is a channel where you get updates on political news and trending issues around the world. Today we are diving into the latest interview by the channel TV host on Politics Today. That's Seun Okinbaloye interviewing Mr. Dele Momodu. Hear what he has to say concerning the ADC controversies or crisis going on in their party. Listen, and don't forget to like this video, drop your comments, drop your thoughts in the comment sections, and always remember to subscribe to this channel. See you.
Nigeria's political permutations ahead of 2027 continue to intensify, and we're seeing more and more activities and a lot of conversation, especially within the opposition. And the landscape is witnessing fresh realignment, strategic calculations, and growing debates over coalition politics, leadership ambitions, and the search for a formidable challenger to President Bola Tinubu and the APC. From the ADC presidential primaries to the controversy and reactions trailing former Minister Rotimi Amaechi's comment on Atiku Abubakar, questions are mounting over whether the opposition can truly unite, build public trust, and present a credible alternative capable of reshaping the country's political direction. Tonight I'm being joined by a media entrepreneur, publisher, and politician, Chief Dele Momodu, who is live for us virtually on the program tonight. Thanks so much, Chief Momodu, for joining us tonight.
Good evening, Seun, and how are you tonight?
I'm good, yeah. You were very optimistic the last time you were on the program, and you felt that the caliber of a lot of people that have congregated in the ADC, there's no way in the world that President Bola Tinubu and the APC can withstand them. But it does look like things are falling apart. Peter Obi is left, Kwankwaso is left, and now we're seeing the kind of the tonality of Mr. Rotimi Amaechi's statement linked to him. Is going against Atiku Abubakar. It does look like the center is no longer holding for the opposition ADC, where we thought that the coalition has its base.
Well, I listened to the statement of Mr. Rotimi Amaechi, and I was quite taken aback because I tend to see him as a gentleman and a patriotic Nigerian who understands that the game ahead is not going to be for the faint-hearted. Now, I'm happy today that from a zone in the South-South, we are just hearing about the declaration of former President Goodluck Jonathan. So it tells you that the game ahead is going to be a game of the big boys. In fact, the biggest boys, not just the big boys. President Jonathan is formidable. President Bola Tinubu, being the current president, is extraordinarily formidable. And then the combination of Peter Obi and Kwankwaso, if what they are planning goes through, is also going to be formidable. So which means we are going to have a very, very big fish from the South-South, a lesser big fish from the Southeast, and the biggest fish of them from the Southwest. So which direction would ADC then look strategically? We're talking strategy. We're not talking emotion or anything. Strategy. There is a pattern to elections globally, whether you are in America. That's why you will see that on the night of elections, CNN analysts always call it from elections. They know the blue states, they know the red states. Nigeria cannot be an exception. Not even Donald Trump could have arranged an election for himself without the support, the formidable support of his party and general fans. So Mr. Amaechi, in the name of Almighty God, should please cool temper. That is my plea with him, cool temper. In African culture, which I know he knows very well, he went to a university in Port Harcourt, and I know his love for literature and books, should know that a potential presidential candidate and possible president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria must watch his temper and temperament and does not need to attack Atiku. What is his grounds? He says Atiku says he does not believe in zoning and that we should go to the primary. Any patriotic Nigerian in opposition, we know the danger involved in going to any primary at this time. You have barely maybe 8 months to the next election. ADC is just discovering itself. You are going to need a lot of resources in the coming weeks and coming months for you to be able to fight the APC behemoth. So why would anybody, unless somebody has too much money stashed away at home, why would any opposition leader want to go through that trouble of wasting money on internal politics? I believe we have enough elders in ADC, enough experienced people in ADC who can sit down and look at the arithmetic and the mathematics.
Well, I mean, Chief Mamadou.
The coming election.
Yeah, Chief Mamadou. What
Yes.
you are implying and suggesting is that the ADC should go for a consensus arrangement. Is that what you're inferring?
Yes, please. Yes, for me, that would be the most sensible thing for them to do. So they do not have the time nor the resources to waste. So I don't know if I'm surprised, because I thought Mr. Rotimi Amaechi should be preaching frugality at this stage to say, look, our party, let's sit down in a room, let's have, the main stakeholders, and let us agree.
Chief Mamadou, are you saying that Amaechi, since you mentioned Jonathan and the other southern aspirants or candidates who are emerging, are you suggesting Atiku should step down for Amaechi? Amaechi should be the consensus candidate? Or what are you saying?
No, strategically, I'm not even talking about Atiku now. Strategically, you have followed me, you've interviewed me several times. There is no basis for zoning. Anybody who wants to remove Tinubu would have to come from the opposite direction. If all of them are going to split themselves into pieces, and strategically, if ADC is serious now, they had better go and find an Atiku, a Tambua from the northern, because that's the only place now that is free. There is no zoning in the constitution of Nigeria. So let's stop distracting ourselves. Anybody who's talking about zoning right now wants to hand it over to Tinubu on a platter.
So in the ADC, there are about 3 people that I know that have obtained the nomination forms, which is a criteria for you being able to be on the ballot. Ayatuding is one, Atiku is another, Amaechi is one. So if you are saying that the people should come from the north, you are invariably saying that Amaechi should stand by to be a vice, which he has said he doesn't want to be a vice. He wants to be the candidate of
I have
the
not
ADC.
suggested to him that he should be a vice. The truth of the matter is that he does not have the capacity to defeat Jonathan or to defeat Tinubu. He does not have the capacity. He's my very good friend. And if I can tell Tinubu the truth, then I should be able to tell Amaechi the truth. He does not have that capacity. That is the truth. Unless he just wants to play a game, and that game will be very, very unfortunate.
What game are you thinking that he's likely to play?
No, anybody who is serious about getting power away from Tinubu should know that there is a pattern to elections, and I stand by it. There is nobody today in ADC who has contested, not just as many times as Atiku. But in terms of deliverables, in fact, the most unfortunate thing that my friend said was that Atiku is unelectable. How can someone, an Atiku, in the Northwest, in the last election, that recorded 2.3 million votes, while Obi got 350,000, and Tinubu got 2.6 million, and Kwankwaso got 1.26 million. How can an Atiku that got 1.74 million in the Northeast, and Obi that got 315,000, and Tinubu that got 1.185 million, and Kwankwaso 126,343. That is in the Northeast. How can you say that an Atiku in the Southwest that got 941,000 and Obi that got 806,000, Tinubu 2.2 million, and Kwankwaso 16,644, an Atiku that got in the North Central 1,087,893,000. Obi 1,113,790. Tinubu 1.6 million. And Kwankwaso 55,000. Atiku in the Southeast 91,198. Obi 1.9 million in the Southeast. That is where the area it comes from. Tinubu 127,000 and Kwankwaso 8,000. How can Atiku in the South that got 717? That's where Rotimi Amaechi comes from. 717,000. Obi 1,210,000. Tinubu 799,000. And Kwankwaso 17,000. How can you say he's not electable? So you are now going to build in the next few weeks and months. You will build a new coalition that will be able to give Rotimi Amaechi all that. I cannot see any path in that direction.
Isn't this sad though? Because there are those who are an average Nigerian who don't like the APC and President Bola Tinubu's handling of the nation, who think that they may likely want to change him, because that is the power and the right of every citizen to either keep or change anybody that is in power. And they are looking towards an opposition, a coalition. That those who have said the only way you can remove Bola Tinubu and the APC out of prominence, they have, had their feet right in the ground since 2015. For you to be able to displace them, you must have a very strong coalition. And that those who are now disappointed that rather than coming together, things are even getting worse than it looked in 2023 when Tinubu had no strong support from within his own party. All the policy of his government was against him. Tinubu had no as much governors on his side, but now Tinubu has 31 governors, had huge resources, both monetary and other resources available to defeat anyone. And now the opposition is even more divided. Isn't this causing for concern for the opposition forces and those who think that there's a need for a coalition?
They are divided in the South because of big egos. Northerners understand the game. The South have a lot of people with big egos, and this is not a student union election. We're talking about the biggest black nation on earth, and I'm happy that the big juggernauts are finally throwing their hearts in the ring. So we are not going to be joking. Strategically, you can see that the North right now has only projected one solid major candidate who understands what it takes. He knows that it's not a game of emotion, it's a game of mathematics. And that is why the North is not proliferating their potential. They have a lot of people who could have thrown their hearts in the ring. They have the L5, they have the Tambuas, they have them. But you can see that strategically, unless you say the northern part of Nigeria is no longer a part of Nigeria, or that the constitution rules them out. And since the constitution does not rule them out, then it means they are smarter than our own guys in the South, who everybody in the South now wants to be a president. But in the North, how many people have you seen?
Maybe the reason for this is because people now think that it's time for for the South to have an 8 years after an 8 years of Buhari. And don't forget, Mr. Momodu, President Bola Tinubu from Lagos State. There is a Seyi Makinde in Oyo State, right? And that's a very big factor right there. If you underestimate that young man, at your own peril. Yes, you're talking about the Rotimi Amaechi of this world. You're talking about Dula Jonathan, those who say that's going to be another joker in southern Nigeria. But it's going to be an interesting one. Those who say, look, with all of this, it makes the work of Bola Tinubu and the APC easier.
How can it, I know you are a journalist and you are a lawyer. So definitely your mathematics is very wrong. If you have a Seyi Makinde in Oyo State, it then means that it will take away part of Tinubu's votes, not just in Oyo, but in parts of Yoruba land. Some of those attacking Tinubu today, you will not believe it, the majority of them are from the Southwest, because they are very enlightened electorates in the Southwest, and they don't care whether you are our son or not. If you are not performing and you are not satisfying their needs, they will go against you. So when you now walk across to the South and you now have Goodluck Jonathan, of course, is going to chip away from the votes of Tinubu. When you then finally you reach Obi's territory, then you will realize that it will chip away again from Tinubu. So where will Tinubu now get is, look, elections have ethnic coloration all over the world. That's why Donald Trump was always playing the racial card. He will tell you it's a race between the blacks and the whites. It's the same thing that's going to happen in Nigeria. If the North has only one candidate, eventually, one strong candidate, then all these other candidates are going to divide them. So the permutation is different from the last time. The last time, Buhari was still alive to support his party, APC. Today, the field is very clear.
So, Mr. Momodu, you are saying invariably that in today's Nigeria, for the 2027 election, the only person that is formidable enough to defeat Bola Tinubu and the APC is Atiku Abubakar. Is that right?
Oh, if the North feels him, oh yes, certainly. If the North feels one candidate, nobody can defeat them. Nobody. I'm sure about that. Yeah, I haven't seen that proliferation in the North. I haven't seen it. Everybody that is shouting today that they want to be president, they are from the South. I don't understand why.
You bet your Lagos loft house on that.
I mean, I would expect that the Southern candidates should meet urgently, if possible, and then maybe they will withdraw for Jonathan or for Peter Obi. But if Peter Obi and Jonathan and Seyi Makinde decide to continue in the race, trust me, it's going to backfire for the South.
Interesting perspective. These conversations continue, but thank you so much, Chief Dele Momodu, for your analysis. I call you a former journalist because you used to be a political journalist in the days where you were in Concord, and now you put your leg in the NCP as a presidential candidate, and now you're deeply involved in the PDP and in the ADC now this time around. But thank you so much indeed for your time on the program tonight. I appreciate
it. Thank you, Sheung.
I appreciate it.
Have a good evening.
Yeah, that's it on today's episode. What was your thought about what Chief Dele Momodu said? I thought maybe they said they are not going to allow consensus. They are all going to go for primary elections. But now Peter Obi is out of their party. Why are they now agreeing? Why is he now advocating for a consensus candidate? What's your thought on this? Is this not a hypocritical act? Please drop it in the comment section. And see you next. Make sure you watch our next video.